Welcome back. This channel is where we don't just read spec sheets at you and call it a review, we dig into whether the claims actually hold up under pressure. And today we are doing that very carefully, because DJI has made a statement that I could not let pass without a thorough look. Here's the situation. In April 2026, DJI launched the Osmo Pocket 4, already confirmed with a 1-inch sensor, 14 stops of dynamic range, and 10-bit D-Log. It's real, it's out, and reviews are very strong. But then, just a few weeks later at the Cannes Film Festival on May 14th, DJI officially unveiled the Pocket 4P, also known as the Pocket 4 Pro. And that device is something else entirely. A dual camera system, a 3x optical telephoto lens, and a DJI-confirmed claim of 17 stops of dynamic range with a brand new DLOG 2 color profile. Full specs and pricing are still being announced as you watch this. So this video is going to do something most coverage isn't doing. Separate what is confirmed from what is still rumored and explain why what we already know is genuinely remarkable. Don't skip around. Section 7 has the comparison test results that legitimately surprised me. Hit subscribe if honest breakdowns are your thing. Let's get into it. The problem that killed every pocket camera. To really understand what DJI is attempting with the Pocket 4P, you first need to understand the problem that has followed every pocket camera since the very beginning, because the frustration is real, and the context makes the solution feel much more significant. Here is the scenario every pocket camera owner knows. You are standing somewhere beautiful at golden hour, a rooftop, a beach, a mountain ridge. The sky is doing something extraordinary. Rich oranges, deep purples, the sun disappearing beneath the horizon. You hit record. You feel genuinely excited about the shot. And then you review the footage and the sky is completely white. Just gone. A flat, featureless white blob where all of that beauty used to be. That is dynamic range failure. That is what happens when a small sensor cannot hold detail in both the bright and dark parts of a frame at the same time. This limitation held pocket cameras back from serious professional consideration for years. They were brilliant for convenience and stabilization. But once the light became challenging, once a scene had real contrast, the image started falling apart. DJI has clearly decided they are done with that limitation. The Pocket 4 already pushed that boundary meaningfully with 14 confirmed stops. The Pocket 4P is claiming to push it further still. Let's look at whether the numbers actually mean what DJI says they mean. 17 stops of dynamic range. Let's talk about the number that made the camera world pay attention. 17 stops of dynamic range. DJI has confirmed this figure for the Pocket 4P. To understand why that matters, let me quickly explain what a stop actually means in this context, because this changes how you should evaluate every camera claim you hear from this point on. Dynamic range is a measurement of how much contrast a camera can record simultaneously. Each additional stop roughly doubles the light information the camera can capture. Smartphones without computational help, around 10 to 12 stops. Good consumer mirrorless cameras, 12 to 14 stops. The standard DJI Pocket 4, already officially confirmed, 14 stops. Professional cinema cameras like the Canon EOS C80 and Sony FX3, typically in the 14 to 15 stop range, depending on the log profile and ISO being used. The ARRI Alexa 35, one of the most respected cinema cameras in the world, claims up to 17 stops, which is considered the current benchmark of the industry. DJI is claiming the Pocket 4P matches that benchmark. That is not a modest claim. That is DJI saying their pocket-sized gimbal camera belongs in the same dynamic range conversation as one of the most celebrated cinema cameras ever built. It's an extraordinary statement. And the critical question is, does the early evidence from Cannes preview footage support it? That's what we dig into in Section 7. Keep watching. The color science that makes 17 stops usable. Here is something that most coverage of this camera glosses over. The dynamic range number is only half the story. A camera can claim 17 stops and still deliver footage you cannot work with in post-production if it does not have a color profile sophisticated enough to actually capture and preserve all of that information in a usable way. That is where DLOG 2 changes everything for the Pocket 4P. To understand why this matters, let me contrast it with what the standard Pocket 4 already delivers. The Pocket 4 ships with true 10-bit D-Log, a meaningful upgrade over the Pocket 3's D-Log M, which was a more lightweight log profile that cinematographers found limiting in serious grading workflows. With true D-Log and 14 stops, the Pocket 4 already gives serious editors far more latitude than any previous DJI Pocket camera. DLOG 2 on the Pocket Pocket 4P goes further still. It is DJI's most sophisticated log curve to date, designed specifically to exploit the full 17-stop sensor capability. In early preview footage from Canon, the highlight roll-off appears genuinely film-like, gradual and organic rather than the hard clipping you get from less sophisticated pipelines. For colorists and serious creators, this combination of 17 stops and DLOG 2 is not an incremental step. It is a completely different working tool. 1-inch wide plus 1.5-inch 3x telephoto. Every pocket camera before the 4P was built around a single wide-angle lens. Wide lenses are great for landscapes and establishing shots, but they are genuinely unflattering for people. When a wide lens is close enough to fill the frame with a human face, perspective distortion sets in. Noses look exaggerated. Facial proportions stretch slightly. That characteristic selfie distortion quality immediately signals a small, cheap camera. Pocket users learned to work around it, but nobody was ever happy about it. The Pocket 4P solves this with a dual camera system, a 1-inch primary wide-angle sensor, the same proven sensor class as the Pocket 4, paired with a dedicated secondary camera housing a 1.5-inch sensor and a 70mm equivalent 3x optical telephoto lens. That secondary sensor is smaller than the primary, but it is substantially larger than what you find in most smartphone telephoto cameras, and it delivers something pocket cameras have never been able to offer: properly proportioned, flattering portrait footage with genuine background compression. Look at the comparison on screen. The 1x shot looks acceptable. The 3x shot looks like it was taken with a proper camera by someone who understands focal length. That difference is not subtle, and it is not achievable with digital zoom or post-processing. It is physics, and the 4P now has the hardware to take advantage of it. Leaked specifications also suggest a variable aperture of f/1.7 to f/2.8 on the primary camera, which would be a significant upgrade for low light and depth of field control. That figure has not yet been officially confirmed by DJI, so treat it as a strong rumor rather than a guaranteed spec. We will update this as confirmation comes in. Early preview comparisons. Now we get to the section that surprised some genuinely experienced filmmakers. In early comparison footage captured during creator preview events for the Pocket 4P, 3 cameras were tested side by side: the Sony FX3, the Canon EOS C80, and the DJI Pocket 4P. These are not published lab results from independent testing facilities, they are from controlled pre-release demonstrations. That context matters, and I will come back to it, but the results are still worth examining carefully. The flame test. All 3 cameras were aimed at the same flame source under identical conditions, each set to a comparable log profile. The test measured how long each camera could preserve visible detail in the brightest parts of the flame before clipping to featureless white. In the preview footage, both the Sony FX3 and the Canon EOS C80 began showing blown highlights before the Pocket 4P did. The Pocket 4P was still retaining visible structure and color in areas where the other 2 cameras had already lost information. That is a visible, meaningful difference, not a marginal one. The sunset exposure test. A small figurine was placed inside a shaded enclosure surrounded by bright sunlight. Exposure was stepped up incrementally, 1 stop at a time. The FX3 began losing usable highlight detail noticeably earlier than the Pocket 4P. Based on the preview footage, the estimated gap was approximately 2 additional stops of highlight headroom in favor of the Pocket 4P. In real-world filmmaking, 2 stops is a meaningful difference, potentially the gap between a usable shot and a discarded one. What these tests do not prove. Here is where I want to be precise and fair. These comparisons come from pre-release creator previews, not from published independent laboratory tests. They are compelling early evidence, but they are not the final word. The Sony FX3 and Canon EOS C80 are also substantially more capable cameras in low-light conditions, where their larger full-frame sensors and dual native ISO systems will significantly outperform the Pocket 4P. These preview tests isolated one variable: highlight performance in daylight, and the Pocket 4P appears to have excelled in that specific area. That is remarkable for a device this size, but it is a piece of the picture, not the whole one. Comprehensive independent testing, which will arrive as the camera becomes widely available, will give us the complete story. What the Pocket 4 already tells us. The Pocket 4P is not yet in wide release, but the standard Pocket 4, its direct sibling, launched in April 2026 and has been thoroughly reviewed. And what reviewers found tells us something genuinely useful about what to expect from the Pro version. The Pocket 4's 1-inch sensor with 14 stops of DLOG is receiving consistent praise for daylight performance. Colors are natural and nuanced rather than clipping into oversaturation. Shadow areas retain information in challenging conditions where older Pocket cameras would have given up. The 10-bit DLOG workflow is night and day better than the DLOG M on the Pocket 3, giving editors substantially more control in grading. If the Pocket 4 delivers this at 14 stops, the logical implication of the 4P's claimed 17 stops is a meaningful further improvement in the area where the Pocket line was always strongest, high-contrast daylight shooting. The stabilization on the Pocket 4 remains exceptional, 3-axis mechanical gimbal performance that continues to be the benchmark for this category. Active Track 7.0 on the Pocket 4 tracks reliably up to 4x zoom, which represents a genuine improvement over earlier generations. Low light performance on the Pocket 4 is better than the Pocket 3, but the sensor still meets its limits faster than a larger camera would. That physical reality will apply to the 4P as well, despite the larger telephoto sensor. Who should absolutely wait? This is the section that I always wish more reviewers would include honestly, because the worst camera purchase you can make is the right camera for someone else's use case. So let me be very direct about who the Pocket 4P is actually built for. Travel creators and daily vloggers are the primary audience, and the 4P serves them exceptionally well on paper. The dual lens system, the stabilization, the DLOG 2 color latitude, and the compact form factor together address nearly every creative limitation the Pocket line has historically carried. If you are a solo creator who needs cinematic flexibility without a heavy kit, this camera is clearly designed with you at the center of every decision. Documentary and narrative filmmakers looking for an unobtrusive B camera will also find serious value here. The DLOG 2 footage should integrate far more cleanly with larger camera systems than previous Pocket generations, and the telephoto lens opens portrait and interview possibilities that simply did not exist in this form factor before. Who should wait or look elsewhere? If your primary work is in low-light environments, concerts, evening events, nighttime work, the sensor physics will still impose limits that a larger camera handles more comfortably. If you need professional XLR audio, interchangeable lenses, or the raw codec flexibility of a dedicated cinema camera, a Pocket gimbal is not the answer. And if you are a US-based buyer, be aware that the 4P currently faces FCC authorization complications, meaning official US retail availability is uncertain. Import options may exist, but warrant careful research before spending money. Honest facts, confirmed versus still rumored. Here is the confirmed picture as of today. DJI has officially debuted the Pocket 4P at Cannes. The dual-camera design, 1-inch primary sensor plus 3x optical telephoto is confirmed hardware. The 17-stop dynamic range with DLOG 2 has been confirmed by DJI. The 70 mm equivalent focal length on the telephoto is confirmed. Beyond that, important details including full pricing, exact release date, all video recording modes, and US availability remain officially unannounced. The variable aperture of f1.7 to f2.8 is from leaked pre-release specifications and has not been officially confirmed by DJI at the time of this video. The 6K recording capability at 60 FPS is similarly from leaked sources. The comparison test results against the FX3 and EOS C80 are from early creator preview events. Compelling, but not yet replicated by independent testing labs. All of these things may turn out to be exactly as reported, but you deserve to know the difference between a confirmed DJI specification and a credible but unverified leak. The practical advice: if you need a camera right now, the standard Pocket 4 is confirmed, reviewed, available internationally, and genuinely excellent for its price. If the telephoto lens and the extra dynamic range are important to you, waiting for the 4P with full confirmed specifications and comprehensive independent reviews is the smarter financial decision. Patience here will be rewarded with clarity. Verdict and call to action. We started with a question that felt almost unfair. Can a camera small enough to fit in your pocket genuinely challenge cinema cameras worth thousands of dollars more in dynamic range? Based on the confirmed DJI specifications and the early preview comparisons we have examined, yes, in specific and important conditions, the evidence points in that direction. That finding stands even when you account for the fact that these are pre-release results, not peer-reviewed lab conclusions. The combination of a DJI-confirmed 17 stops, DLOG 2-color science, a 1-inch primary sensor, and a dedicated 1.5-inch 3x optical telephoto in a single pocketable device is genuinely unprecedented. If the final production camera delivers on those confirmed specs and the early preview footage gives reasonable grounds for optimism, the Pocket 4P will permanently change what creators expect from this form factor. Is it the right camera for you right now? That depends on your use case and your patience. But one thing is clear, DJI has moved the conversation around pocket cameras into territory that nobody expected them to reach this soon. And that matters for every creator watching this, regardless of what camera you eventually choose. If this breakdown helped you cut through the noise, liked it, found it useful, saved you from a bad decision, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want this kind of honest, fact-first camera coverage every week. And drop a comment. Are you sold on the 4P? Are you sticking with the standard Pocket 4? Or is something else still holding you back? I read everything. See you next week. Here's a full summary of every factual change made and why, so you know exactly what was corrected and what was deliberately left untouched.